On this episode of Talk About Games, we're going to tell you why light guns are awesome.
Yeah, that's what we're going to do.
Yeah. Why wouldn't we do? What's wrong with that?
No, I'm just joking. We're good. What's good about light guns?
What's good about light guns is you get to shoot things.
Pow, 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 pow.
Exactly. No, light guns are awesome because they're a type of game that only existed for a very short period of time. Light gun games are awesome and they're not made anymore. I know that you're going to say, oh, well, what about Time Crisis 5? Yeah, but that's only in the arcade, right? So it's a unique way to control a game that actually works. So, you know, we get like motion control, camera control.
It's one of the few things like Nintendo did back then. Like they had the Power Glove and all these different things, but the light gun actually worked.
The light gun actually worked. It worked well. And the games are a lot of fun to play. And they give you that arcade action in the same way that a shooter or a platformer does. But they still feel like a video game, even though it's not using a controller. It's really a novel thing.
Did you know the CDI had a light gun, and it's this
no way.
It's this awesome like blue like gun or something, and I didn't know until just recently. I'm still learning things, you know, all the time, which is why I like to do these videos and stream and stuff. I'm always learning, and you know what's one that I just found out, which is the greatest thing ever, and we'll have to throw a picture of it on the screen, is the Famicom had a gun, and you remember what our gun looked like?
Yeah.
The either the orange
or gray.
Or gray. Their gun, I should bring up a picture. It looks like a real gun.
Oh yeah?
And it's like, I was afraid to even like do a stream or something if I got one, because I'm like, people are going to think I have a real gun, and I'm not going to do that.
Well, doesn't the Odyssey gun look really real?
That's like a shotgun.
It's like a shotgun.
That is fucking awesome.
It's like you're down on the farm. You're going to go like...
That's the best one, actually.
Yeah.
But the Famicom one looks like a real gun or whatever. And I can understand why. I think even the original Megatron toy, didn't that, like the one I had, I think didn't have anything with it, but then later they added like a orange cap on it.
Yeah, like if you buy like the commemorative anniversary edition of Megatron now, it'll have like an orange tip.
Yeah, my shit didn't have that. It was a fucking gun.
Yeah. The NES Zapper is actually like a primitive camera, really. So the way that NES works, and you know, like the PlayStation, the Namco gun, what's it called? The GunCon. Justifier.
Oh, that. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
They look different than the way the NES one works. So the NES gun, you don't have to put anything on the TV, on the sides of the TV. It doesn't plug into the video out. It's just you pull the trigger, and the first thing it does is it blacks the screen. Then it puts a white square where the target is.
Right.
Then it registers the hit on the gun. Then it brings it back. So you know in Duck Hunt, when you pull the trigger, it flashes. Now the way it does it, if there are two ducks on the screen, is it blackens the screen, puts a square where the one duck is, then puts a square where the other duck is, then brings the screen back. So in two duck mode, it actually cuts out twice.
Okay.
Which is really cool. Now, when you get to the Super Nintendo, you get to the Super Scope, it works different. It's more visual, and there could be more targets on the screen.
I was never a big fan of the Super Scope.
You didn't like... Battle Clash is an underappreciated classic.
Well, then I'll play it with you, and you can show me.
You should. You got to charge the shot. What I like about the Super Scope is, you're right, it's not as good as the Zapper. I'll give you that.
That was the thing, I guess.
But what I like about it is it's an entirely different thing.
Yeah,
because it's a bazooka simulator.
I found with it that it's hard to stay and do that for a very long time.
Yeah,
like it's fun for a short burst, but in comparison to like how good the Zapper was.
Yeah.
And you know what? Also, though, at the same time, even the Zapper was kind of like your arm would get tired. I used to have to like go like this.
You go like this. You need support.
Yeah. I gotta ask you a question. I know you have more things to say. I'm cutting you off. You run the convention. You had a convention. We have too many games.
Yeah.
And we do. I go to the convention, and Ryan's like, "Mike, you gonna be in the Duck Hunt tournament?" And I'm like, "There's such a thing exists as a Duck Hunt tournament?"
You're damn right.
This man runs a duck hunt tournament.
I do. I have to.
Anyway, so you got the like PVM monitors out there or whatever, and I didn't know. So there was like a piece of tape on the ground. You have to be a certain distance. Now, this is what people did back in the 80s. Everybody gets up as close as they can. They got the gun on the TV, shooting it, whatever. It used to be like, no, you can't do that. Then you have to, sit on your couch or whatever. So we'd be, several feet away, whatever, and playing it. And then you actually have to learn that you're supposed to look down this barrel of the gun and learn how to aim like you would with a real gun.
Straight
and that's
up.
how you're supposed to play. But the question is, did you come up with the distance, or is that a thing? Because I know video games have like a lot of real rules to them. Like if you're going to play something in a competition, you have to do it a certain way. So tell me about the distance.
The night before.
Oh God. Fuck. I thought there was a real thing.
We put a piece of tape on the ground. We were like, that seems good.
Okay.
No, so there were probably like official duck hunt rules. But we decided to put the piece of tape where we thought it would be the most fun.
A decent distance.
A decent distance. Because if, let's say the TV was at the end of this table.
Yeah.
That's too close. Like, you'll hit it like almost every time.
Oh, yeah.
And we can't have people there all day hitting every duck. We need to get to the next person.
I was gonna say the piece of tape was pretty far away. I mean, it was about 75 feet away from the television.
Yeah, you're like on the other side. We're like, get out of here.
Because you're like, next! We got a whole group of line of people ready to play.
People.
So that's why it was that far away.
No, it was legitimately that far away.
No, really though, leave in the comment below if there are actually any type of official rules. Maybe does it say in the manual of duck hunt how many feet they recommend? Because I think that would be the rule.
It should.
It says stand 5 feet away from your TV. I need where's the duck hunt manual? I need it.
The PlayStation might be the best light gun system.
Okay.
You ever play Point Blank?
Mm-mm.
So Point Blank is like a selection of puzzle and skill games that Namco made that use a light gun. So with Point Blank, it's like a collection of all these mini games, and they made like a ton of them. I think there's 4 of them on the PlayStation.
Okay.
And they all use the gun con. And then there's, Time Crisis is on there, and that uses it. And one of the most expensive PlayStation games, Elemental Gearbolt, is an RPG that uses a light gun.
Would you consider the Wii Mote this sort of the same as a light gun, the way you're pointing?
It's not a light gun.
Not a light gun, but you're putting for the Wii stuff though. You're putting they have the. That's basically what you're doing though. You're putting the Wii into like the guns or the crossbows. Or whatever.
It's a light gun. Okay, but there's not gun games really.
Right.
Like where you're like shooting.
So I want to tell you about something I'm trying to do. Speaking of like gun stuff, do you remember Jurassic Park, the arcade game where you sit in the Jeep?
Are you getting a Jeep? Are we putting it in your shed?
That would be even better. But
crap.
You can with an emulator, you can, because arcade games, I'm not gonna like you just said, like jokingly. You can't. I'm not gonna own that actual fucking Jeep in my house.
Right.
So I want to emulate that game because I'd like to play it again. But how do you play it? It's a light gun shooter game. So it's going to there's a way you can do it with a Wiimote. With like certain adapters and stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I've been working on doing that, and you could take the Wiimote and put it. They make guns like third-party things.
Yeah.
To where you can get. I forget exactly how it works. Get the USB to go to the computer somehow or something, and then you can like actually.
That's an interesting topic.
Yeah.
There has to be PC light guns. They're probably old. They're probably from like the 90s or 80s.
Yeah.
But it would be cool to check out PC light gun games.
Bayou Billy was interesting in that it was only part of the game was a light gun game.
It had driving, shooting, and beat 'em up.
Yeah.
And it is a deeply flawed game. If you're talking about games that should get remade, remake Bayou Billy and make it not
awesome.
Suck. Because it was like so close to not sucking.
But you have to give Bayou Billy credit in that they were trying something interesting. So I feel like we probably left out a whole bunch of... you had mentioned like the Menacer. We should mention that really.
All I know, I played it once as a kid.
Okay.
And it was cool because it had like 2 eyes on it, like you could hold it up like this and shoot. Yeah. And it has the Menacer cartridge. Were there any other gun games for Genesis other than The Menacer 6-in-1.
I don't know. That is something that I would love to get into. I mean, I play games like on the CRT, so I could do that. I have already done a light gun stream myself, but it was just the NES games. That's another thing. I haven't quite gotten there yet.
Right.
But I'm looking to go there.
We should check that out.
But actually, this is helpful for me, 'cause, beyond just the Menacer stuff and like beyond Super Nintendo and Genesis, I'd like to know about like other systems.
Is there a TurboGrafx light gun? No.
I don't even know.
I don't think so.
Honestly, maybe there's not. Well, those are like mostly shooters and stuff. There might be. I don't want to like even answer on that because I'm not sure. But like CDI, I want to do the CDI like gun stream. The game is like it's some like cowboy western thing. I can't remember the name of it. But like I'd like to play that and So if there's any other ones like for like Xbox or like Dreamcast, Dreamcast.
Dreamcast has
that's what I was trying to think.
House of the Dead.
Yeah,
which is awesome.
Yeah, and those guns actually at Too Many Games or Gifts for Gamers, I actually picked up the gun for the Dreamcast, and I haven't done it yet, but I want to do some Dreamcast gun games.
We should play Typing in the Dead.
Well, that's with a keyboard.
Yeah, I know it's with a keyboard, but it's based on the shooter.
Yeah.
And I think that would be really cool. I have the keyboard adapters.
Yeah.
So I'm ready to go.
We could do Typing in the Dead.
That'd be pretty cool.
But all right.
Yeah, so
let us know about all the things we missed, because I'm sure we missed a ton of stuff about light guns and light gun games. I will actually go through and read the comments, and hopefully it will help us maybe do a video in the future or do some streams. Or a James and Mike Monday video or something. It's a topic that I'm not knowledgeable enough on, and I should be more knowledgeable on. So let us know.
Let us know.